I want to talk a little bit more about soil. Your book does a pretty good job describing soil and the different layers, but I want to fill in a couple holes. So first of all, soil is super important because it allows plant growth, which supports all terrestrial ecosystems. It helps filter water, often filtering out pollutants. It provides habitat for all sorts of soil organisms that then recycle nutrients. Now, underneath all soil is something called bedrock. We also call that our horizon. That makes up the parent material, or the rock, that will eventually weather and move up to contribute to the soil further up. And then organic material from living organisms as they die and decompose are going to be contributing organic material down into the soil. So when we look at a soil horizon, we can see some distinct layers. The layering is going to look different depending on the biome that we're in, so I'll try to point out some differences. On the very top is the O horizon. The O horizon is just going to be made up of any dead material that is starting to decompose. So dead leaves, dead plants, branches, things like that. Think of a deciduous forest, a temperate deciduous forest in the fall with all that leaf litter. That makes up the O horizon. Underneath the O horizon is the A horizon. This is really what's considered topsoil. So I'll write that in here, top soil. And that's really important. It has a fully decomposed organic material, which we call humus, in there mixed in with a whole bunch of minerals. So it's providing tons of nutrients for plant growth. Now, topsoil, or the A horizon, tends to be relatively thick in temperate forests. And also in grasslands. It tends to be very thin in places like deserts, where there's just not a lot of organic material, not much water. And then also in tropical rainforests. And the reason it's so thin in tropical rainforests is decomposition happens so quickly. So this O horizon gets decomposed really quickly, and there's so much plant growth that the plants are going to be using up a lot of the materials, a lot of the minerals in that A horizon really quickly. And so they just don't stick around very long. Now, some ecosystems or some soils might have what's called an E horizon. That's called the zone of alluviation and leaching. What occurs in the E horizon is that things like iron, aluminum, and also dissolved organic acids, they are going to be leached down as water sort of infiltrates the soil. It's going to pick up some of those materials, some of those minerals and organic materials, and deposit them in the layer below. So they're going to be deposited in the B horizon. Again, not all ecosystems are going to have that E layer. So tropical rainforests and deserts tend not to have that E horizon. Many grasslands also don't have that E horizon, but we will typically find them in temperate forests, coniferous and deciduous forests. So under the E horizon, or if there's no E horizon, under the A horizon, we'll find that B horizon, and we'll get an accumulation of things like clay, iron, and aluminum from whatever has leached down from above. The B horizon is also called the subsoil, so you may see that. And it's really high in minerals. It tends to be pretty low in organic material here. So there are a lot of nutrients there, just not a lot of organic carbon-based molecules. And then finally we get down to the C horizon. This is just partially altered or partially weathered parent material, and it's going to pretty much resemble the bedrock, just it's been physically broken up a little bit, so smaller chunks of rock, and that's about it. So, again, the soil horizons will look a little bit different depending on the biome that we're looking at. Now, I had a question today related to soil. Some of you were asking about loam and what loam is. Your book does talk about it a little bit, but it's just that has to do with the proportion of different materials in soil, and particularly about the different particle sizes that make up the soil. So how much sand is there in the soil, how much silt, and how much clay. So loam is considered ideal soil. It drains really well, but it also retains water and retains nutrients really well. So that is really good soil for growing stuff.